this puppy on the roadie road.
I'm gonna do thumbs up. I said, good job. Good job. Good job.
Target!
I think that was really Hello everybody and welcome to the 34th episode of the OKKO Anime Club. Joining me as always is the wonderful Alan.
Hello.
And the wonderful, I need more words, wonderful Tensei Twister. And
I'm not Tensei Twister. I am
oh god, the stream's
Ieyasu that got like thrust forward in time when he fell off his horse. And like we've swapped places. I'm gonna do thumbs up. I said, good. That wasn't funny. Good job.
It would have been funny if I could hear half of what you were saying because the stream's playing in the background and I was like, why is that saying good job? And joining us today is again the wonderful Megurun from One Point Anime. Say hello, Megurun.
She's there.
Hello.
She
I am
thinks about
finally
things
here.
I looked so lame when I did that energy charge. I just watched it back. It's alright. It's a wallet charge. The sound is there. We're good. We're good.
Energy charge.
So today we will be talking about Nobunaga Concerto. I keep saying it really weird, Concerto. Which is a 10-episode anime that looks a little bit fucking weird. So, as always, I get to pick on someone since I'm hosting, and I'm going to pick on Cam, because I know what Alan thinks about it already.
What? So we're talking about Nobunaga Concerto, right?
Concerto.
Concerto.
Oh yeah, just like we usually say here. We're gonna spoil everything, so go away if you haven't seen it.
And also in the chat, if you've seen the drama, don't spoil that too much, because it is completely different to the anime, and I want everyone to go and watch the drama, because it's very good.
Don't spoil Kuroko either.
Don't spoil Slam Dunk.
Or Slam Dunk. Or Fate.
And
just don't spoil things.
And if my internet dies, sit tight, I'll be back. It'll freeze, and then I'll be back. We're good.
Anyway, Cam.
So Nobunaga Concerto quite easily has the best English of any anime of all time.
Yeah, oh my god.
I seriously think that Moro Miyano is just like the king of English.
Arak Apur.
Arak Apur. Energy charge. Good job. All that stuff.
Rida!
Rida! Yeah, you know what? This show fucking completely caught me off guard. Like, yeah, because I had no idea. It's one of these shows. Once again, I had no idea what it was. I had no idea what it was about. Like, for some reason, my brain didn't focus on the Nobunaga part of the title. It focused on the concerto part of the title. So I thought it was going to be some sort of musical-based series.
That's what I thought as well.
Lines.
I thought it was going to be like Bakumatsu Rock, but with Nobunaga.
Wait, didn't this come out before Bakumatsu Rock?
No, I think it was after. Or at the same time. I genuinely thought it was going to be like Warring States period rock musical or something.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. So I had no idea what I was getting into going in, and I was just completely captivated from the first episode. Because I was like, what is this? Like, my brain was just like, what is this peculiar creature that I see before me? And that's kind of how I felt for most of it. But it was a wonderful journey. Like, it's an absolutely fantastic story.
Picked a good one! Cam likes something I like!
It's a miracle!
For a change.
The fact that it was only 10 episodes made it really easy to just watch in one sitting as well, which is pretty much what I did. I watched the first episode a couple of days ago, and then I just tanked the rest today. And, yeah, it was really, really good. I'm sad that it ended. Because, like, there were so many questions with me. I have extremely basic knowledge of Warring States period Japan, the majority of it being from Sengoku Basara.
And Tokunamu.
And this anime taught me that the horses don't have exhausts. Ready? I was like,
are you ready, guys? Put your guns on!
I was, yeah, where's Date Masamune? No, it also reminded me that, well, also taught me that Ieyasu Tokugawa is a massive pervert.
Yeah.
Which was great. That was hilarious. But anyway, yeah, there are a lot of events that pretty much happen either immediately after or not too long after the series ends. Where I was like, well, how are they going to deal with that? Particularly, I wanted them to kind of discuss Nobunaga's death and be like, how do you deal with that with this? Because I have so many like theories in my head of how that was going to play out, and I guess I just wanted to know whether I was right or not. So that was a bit of a letdown. However, this show is absolutely fucking fantastic, and it gets the award. It made me cry. So
what?
It made me cry at one point. Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
Oh
it
my
actually made
goodness.
proper. Like
What?
shows have made me tear up before, but this was proper like water down the face. I am really sad now.
What bit?
I can't even remember what fucking bit it was. I just genuinely remember being like, "This isn't manly at all." I'll remember. I'll think about it and I'll remember because I've waffled on for ages.
Okay, so who am I gonna pick on next? I'm gonna pick on Megurun next.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Megan, introduce yourself as well.
Oh yeah. Hi. What else do I need to say? I'm Megu, also known as Megurun, also known as Megan because that's my name. I make videos sometimes, and sometimes I don't, and that's fine. I do like anime and sometimes gaming things too. I don't really know what I'm doing at the moment. I'm trying to figure that out, so I'm kind of on a mini hiatus thing. So I'm sorry about that, but if you don't really care, then that's fine. I stalk these streams a lot, so
basically the three of us have adopted her.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
We are all joint adoptive parents.
I also just want to say, I know it was a joke, I think, when Kira was saying he didn't know that Nobunaga died. He says in the show, "This is where I die."
yeah.
You're like,
It's that 1OG incident or something like that.
He's like, this is the place where Nobunaga dies.
And everyone's like,
spoilers, man.
Anyway, Megan, what do you think about this cartoon?
Spoiling the show.
Oh, I liked it. There were some, like, I don't know anything about like this like time period, and it's the first time I've watched like a historical anime, so I didn't really know what I was getting into, and I enjoyed it. I did, obviously, because I didn't know anything. There were some points where it was a bit slow for me personally, but like overall I enjoyed it. I don't think I could have like marathoned it all in one sitting. Like I can't remember like how I watched it. I watched like a few episodes a day, and yeah, I liked it, and it was definitely interesting because it was something different. And again, I didn't really know what to expect because it was, when I was looking on like the seasonal chart or whatever, you know, those kinds of things that you don't even look at, you just skip straight away.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like that, but then Ebby kept talking about it, and I was like, you know what, I should really watch this. And then I had to watch it proper.
It was one of those things, so much so that I put it on the list of things that we were going to talk about in the Team Back in Melting Jelly video for that season, and Alan forgot to put it in.
Yeah.
That's how skippable it was.
It didn't even have like a poster either.
No, it just had like some concept art or some manga images.
It had like I think it had a picture from a magazine or something. Because this show's a fucking mystery. I think we still don't know who directed it and who worked on it and who,
we know who directed
what season it was.
We don't know
what studio it was, rather.
There is no studio. There's like
no studio. Just a bloke made it themselves.
I think it was just like an in-house Fuji TV thing.
Yeah, because
they
like
don't make anime, so
yeah, because what we sort of surmised was that this was kind of a marketing ploy for the drama which came out afterwards. So it's just to kind of like get it out there, which is why we're terrified.
It made me watch the drama.
Yeah.
And good God, go watch the drama. Go watch the drama. It's so good. Go on then, Alan.
Right. When I get myself into these thoughts, first thing I'm gonna do is we're gonna go back in time right now. Right?
Right, okay. We're gonna slip back in time.
Right? Okay, it's getting focus, Alan.
No.
There we go. It's winter season 2014. Nobunaga is airing.
Oh God.
Nobunaga the Fool is airing. I started both of these shows. Nobunaga the Fool I still haven't finished. It's a mecha show by the great Shoji Kawamori, creator of Macross, and it's bollocks. Nobunaga, probably the worst anime ever made.
Pretty fucking bad.
These shows aired, and I'm like, wow, Nobunaga shows are bad. Fuck that shit. Nobunaga Concerto shows up.
Can't say that about Sengoku Basara.
I can't say that about Sengoku Basara, but that doesn't say Nobunaga in the title.
Nobunaga Basara.
and right, so Nobunaga Concerto shows up on the chart. I'm like, I learnt about you, Nobunaga. You make bad fiction. I ain't watching you. I'm not doing it. And so I don't watch it. And then like the season starts and everything. Ebby, the glutton for punishment, dips her toes in the water.
I'm like,
watches the first episode, and she's like, Alan, watch this cartoon. It's so good. And I'm like, okay, I trust you. I'm terrified, but I trust you. Watch the first episode. Watch the first episode. Was it?
It was the second episode, and I was like, we need to watch this. And you're like, yeah, I guess we could. And I was like, I'll watch it with you. I've already seen it, but I will watch it with you.
Right, yeah.
You need to see this show.
And after the first episode, my exact reaction was, this show has no right to be this good. I'm just like, what? How is this good? Right? Because it's got such like a weird charm and hilarity to it. Like, it's got so much charisma, and it's just an interesting spin on something in that era with this kind of like, and instead of doing the usual case of like someone going into a different time period or whatever, and they do the whole culture shock thing, we don't really have that. He just YOLOs it, and it's just pro. My main issue with the series is just basically the fact that I know that this is all we're getting, and it's never going to conclude because they're not going to get another season of this. So what we have is not a complete story, and as much as I enjoy it, it needs to carry on to be something better in many regards. But in terms of general roundy thoughts, it's very good, and it has no right to be as good as it is.
Me next. I love it. I love it real bad. I
had no idea.
I've made videos about it, trying to entice people into watching it, because I genuinely felt like it was one of the most underexposed shows. It was the most underexposed show of last year by far.
Oh yeah.
Because people were just like, it's a Nobunaga show. It's got weird CGI animation. Could probably do without it. But it's so. Having watched the drama now and then going back to rewatch the anime, I feel like it does miss out a lot of stuff that's actually quite interesting, and it definitely missed the mark for me on the last couple of episodes with Mori-san in particular, and the way that it's shifted from this really sad thing to this like, oh, we're going Oni hunting, and it just ended really badly for me. Like, I have a lot of problems with it, but overall, I love this show. I genuinely feel like more people need to see things like this, because it felt quite intelligent instead of just being run-of-the-mill, like, oh, it's about the War in States period, so it's just going to have shit tons of battles and loads of people are going to die, if you know what I mean. It felt like it had more to it than just, here's a big fight that looks real impressive. So yes, I liked it very much. So how should we continue?
I just want to, because I mentioned Kinross. I saw that Kinross mentioned what you were saying as well about the last episode, and having kind of like the Oni hunt with bloody Young, or was it Junior or whatever his name is?
Yeah, it was Young.
Young, yeah.
It's like, oh no, it's a black person.
Yeah, I was like, it's just a black dude. But that I really liked that after like doing a bit of looking into it, because Nobunaga actually did have an African retainer that everyone was like terrified of because they'd never seen an African person before.
Yeah, but Nobunaga really respected him, and
and it was kind of towards the end of his life that he had this retainer dude. So I quite like the fact that he was a baseball player from the present day.
Yep.
And I like that they kind of tied in stuff like that. So every now and again, you got these little kind of glimpses into the future. You had you had the policeman who who'd been there for ages, and then you had the Yakuza guy who obviously never really quite adapted, yet still managed to carry on because he was a thug, so he just did well.
Because he had a tattoo given to him by the gods.
That's right, yeah. So it was nice that we kind of got these occasional windows into the future. It wasn't just that Saburo fell into the past and that's it.
Yeah.
I still want to know what caused that. Like, that's something that never got cleared up even in the drama. Just like what causes it.
The manga's ongoing as well, though, isn't it? So that might not even be cleared up in the manga yet.
I don't understand how that manga could go on forever, because surely they've got, like, well, these things have to happen, and eventually Nobunaga has to die in some way, or they've got to, like, resolve the whole Honoji incident thing.
So Nobunaga, like, Saburo dies, yeah? And he gets, or like, Nobunaga dies, and then Saburo gets sent back to his own time, and then he gets sent to Egypt as Tutankhamun instead.
Oh.
Right.
Just get sent to different time periods.
Yeah, he gets sent to different time periods.
My brain, in my, because like my knowledge of all this is from Sengoku Basara, and the way that Nobunaga works in Sengoku Basara is that he dies, right, and then he comes back and has like demon powers. So I was wondering if they were going to have it so either Nobunaga or Saburo gets killed off, and then the other one takes over, being all like, I've come back from the dead. Shit, it's the demon king of the 7th heaven, or whatever, it's the 6th heaven. And they're just like, whoa! That would be amazing. But obviously that's probably not true in the slightest. There's probably some very vague reference to him possibly coming back from the dead.
I don't know. There's a lot of speculation as to what will happen at the end. Like, a lot of people are thinking, oh, maybe the Honoji incident won't happen and it'll completely alter history. And then when Saburo dies in the Warring States period, he gets sent back to modern day Japan with all the ramifications of Nobunaga not dying at that specific point.
The thing is, he can't die to go back to the present, because he's got to be able to take the policeman's uniform back to the present. And who reckons that the policeman's daughter will just look like Nobunaga's wife? Just look exactly the same.
Or she'll just look like Kicho.
Yeah,
that must be really sad, though. Like, if Saburo went back to the present, his fucking wife had been dead.
Yeah.
That was the episode that I cried in, now that I think about it.
What,
like,
the Viper of Mino?
After he dies and stuff, and I was just like, oh, this is so sad.
I think it's just because
I was really attached to Kicho.
That's one of the things that I think they did way better in the drama, was that episode. That episode's great and everything. It's my favourite episode of the series, actually. The Viper, I think is what it's called. But that I don't know how to explain it. It just, a lot of people were asking, like, what's the differences with the drama, between the drama and the anime. The characters are entirely different in the drama. So using Saito Do-san as an example, who was Kicho's father. Kicho's a bitch in the drama as well. She's fucking horrible. Using him as an example, he doesn't like Nobunaga at all. He doesn't like Saburo at all, for reasons that I won't explain. But and then just decides to not give him all the guns, so he never has any guns in the drama. It's really weird. Like,
that's what? But that's what he's known for.
He never has guns in the drama.
Apart from on the poster.
Yes, he does have one in the poster.
He's got one in the poster, which is really strange.
It's good. Like, it's a good adaptation. I don't know what the source material does, but...
Yeah, that's one thing I really want to know, is kind of like... Because it is very clear in this series, because of how short it is and how much they wanted to cover, that there are definitely going to be massive expanses of stuff that's been cut out, because it's definitely sort of jumps from one place to another here and there. And you've
time skips.
Yeah, massive time skips that don't get sort of... that you find out when he's just like, hey, I remember you when you were a baby last episode.
Yeah, when he meets the person who becomes the Ieyasu Tokugawa, and it's just like, he hasn't changed at all.
Yeah, Saburo just hasn't aged
at all. Yeah. Yet this guy is suddenly twice as tall with a bald spot.
It's because, well, it's not a bald spot, that's the fashion.
Oh, well, yeah, it was.
And then there's just that one point where he was just where Saburo's just like, yeah, I've been in here since I was a kid. I'm like, what?
How long have you been
same.
here? I want to know how many years it takes place over. It must be about.
I'd say about
20
20
years.
to 25.
Goodness.
Quite a while, because
God.
and he hasn't like aged a day.
Yeah.
I like the fact that his hair has like from the poster it's like all like frazzled and whatever.
Yeah.
And he looks completely different to Nobunaga because of his hair.
Yeah.
And then as he gets older, he gets like Nobunaga's hairstyle going on. I like that detail. That's a good detail.
No facial hair though.
No. How did they shave in those days? With just like the
with guns.
with guns. What was I gonna say? I don't know.
He brought like one Bic razor back with him, and he invented shaving.
By the end of that 25 years, it's blunt. It's
Yeah.
blunted and rusted. Yet he's just like, oh, closest shave ever. No, it's obviously a Gillette because that thing would last the entire time.
Oh yeah.
As long as he washed it properly.
He sort of sharpened it with a whetstone.
So one thing that I really felt for at the start of the series as well was when the old man died.
Episode 2, man.
That was episode 2, and I was like, fucking hell, that was quick. I thought he was going to be around for the entire
G.
Yeah!
G.
Yeah, that made me really sad. I think that was what it was. It was like one tragedy after, because that nearly made me go, and then 2 episodes later, it was an episode later.
Episode after. It was the episode after.
Yeah. So there you go. I just couldn't handle it. I was like, this is too much in 2 episodes.
One thing that I really liked though is that for a bit after I was watching that, I was like, why did he tell people that he killed himself? Because of I didn't know about the whole like thing where because Saburo told everybody that he killed himself because of his foolish master, basically. Like, I can't remember the word for it. There's a word for it.
Yeah, I can't remember it either.
Fuck.
Yeah, it was an act. It's an act. Yeah, basically when someone kills themselves.
Seppuku.
Yeah, it's not seppuku. It was to like repent for his master's wrongdoings or whatever.
Tanto.
And he told everybody that happened, and I was like, why? That's not what happened.
But it was to retain his honor.
It was, and that was what made me really sad, was the fact that he did that for this guy that he didn't really know, just because he knew he was a samurai and he needed to like die with honor or whatever.
The thing is though, the problem with that is we don't know how much time had passed between then and then. It could have been like a couple of years.
Yeah, it probably was a while.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would have been a couple of years, because he was still a bit of a knob at that point.
Yeah, but you have to. It'd probably take a while to get that out of him.
It's when he started wearing the trousers that he started getting a bit sensible.
Considering that he was put together enough to kind of be able to know and be able to say he killed himself because I'm a dick, basically.
Yeah.
To be able to be aware of how that would work. Yeah.
Real Nobunaga's all like.
He's all like, oh no, we did it. It's not harakiri.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up.
Harakiri is the actual act that you do when you commit seppuku. It's when you slice open your belly.
Which, did that ever happen in this series?
No.
No.
Isn't that how Nobuyuki died?
Harakiri and like seppuku and stuff are reserved for criminals and like people who have brought shame upon the house.
I'm pretty sure that's how Nobuyuki dies.
It happens in the drama, doesn't it? Yeah, from what I remember.
And it's fucking gruesome. It's really nasty.
Yeah. It's a horrible way to die.
I can imagine. Yeah.
It is a really, really horrible way to die. But it's like it preserves the family's honour.
They like slice their belly open, and then to like end their suffering quickly, they decapitate them.
Yeah.
Oh god.
It's horrible because like you see it with women a lot as well. So like when a woman's husband dies, they'll do something similar. They'll have like a little knife on them, and to stop themselves from being like taken as a prisoner of war or have other horrible things done to them, they'll just plunge this knife into their stomachs. But what they'll do is they'll tie their feet together so they stay in like a refined posture. It's horrible.
Called kanshi.
Yeah, kanshi. That sounds right. Yeah. The thing that I find like most just in this grim conversation that we're having, I find it really interesting that ancient Japan has a completely different view on suicide than the rest of the world. To them, like, it's more honourable to kill yourself than allow somebody else to kill you. Seems really strange. Like,
Yeah.
because obviously over here it's like a complete taboo. You go to hell if you commit suicide.
Well, it's
you're of that belief.
I'm sure it is everywhere in the world in modern society.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just
strange, isn't it? It's just
yeah, that is really weird to think about. But I kind of wish they had done something more with Nobuyuki in the anime, because he just showed up that once, like kidnapped Kicho and then disappeared. They didn't even show like Nobunaga's dad at any point. Like he still at that point in when the anime starts, he hadn't handed the family over to Nobunaga. It starts before that.
Yeah, it's
so at that point Nobunaga wasn't the head of the Oda family. It's really weird. Like, they missed out on so much stuff that would have been really interesting, and it just makes me feel like, man, I wish this was longer.
The thing
like...
with Nobuyuki, I think, is that he doesn't really have a part to play in it at all after that. They just they locked him away in the temple, and that was it. Like, as far as I'm aware, he doesn't do anything noteworthy after that, because he's too busy being in a temple.
Nobuyuki Oda. I'm just going to check to see if he did commit seppuku.
There's going to be a lot of Wikipedia on this episode. Yeah. Wikipedia Concerto.
Yeah, there are so many things.
Definitely died somehow, but I don't know how.
Yeah, he definitely died.
He's definitely potentially old age. He's not still alive. He ain't working at Tesco right now.
He was
that's clear.
21 when he died.
That's younger than me. I beat Nobuyuki.
Hey.
Yeah, you haven't beat Nobuyuki yet, Megu. You will, though.
No. Soon.
Unless he tried to kidnap someone's wife.
Yeah.
It looks like he did.
Do that.
It looks like he did commit seppuku, and the people who helped him, sort of repented and were spared. So, there's that.
There you go then.
I'll keep Wikipedia open.
Just in case. One of the things that I love about this series the most is the fact that Saburo has this very basic knowledge of ancient Japanese history. Yeah. When you consider that the story of Nobunaga must be like drilled into every child's head, because it's like Japanese history 101, which like one of the heavy criticisms that I've heard about this and a lot of other shows that deal with Nobunaga's story as a thing, because one of the big criticisms is they don't tell you anything, they expect you to know a lot of stuff. It's because this was aired in Japan. Everyone in Japan knows this stuff.
Yeah, they do.
A billion times over.
Yeah. We're like, let's go to the library and see if we can find some books.
It's like setting a film in World War II. You know, it's that level of knowledge. And what was I going to say? Yeah, I love the fact that Saburo, whenever he meets anyone of worth, or when somebody changes their name to something that he recognizes, so Hideyoshi, Tokugawa, these people, bearing in mind that Hideyoshi is instrumental in Nobunaga's death. Like, he is primarily, well, you could probably assume that by the story.
Yeah.
And then Tokugawa...
And it's just like, oh!
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then Tokugawa is the guy who inevitably unifies Japan. So he's like, I know these people, but how what did you do?
It's
you were really famous.
If only he hadn't lost his fucking book. It's like, wait there a second, I've got to go read something.
For the entire start of the show, he always refers to his book and everything. After his book is gone, he doesn't bring it up again.
Yeah, he never makes mention of it.
He basically he's like, have you seen my book? And he's like, nope, and it's burnt. And after it's burnt, he doesn't mention it. He doesn't go, I wish I had my book right now, or anything like that.
Yeah.
And sort of just wings it and succeeds anyway.
There's a really... I don't know if I want to say this because it's something to do with the drama.
It's alright.
But there's a really nice bit in it with Kicho's father where he has the book. For some reason, he gets the book. And since he's from the future, he's like, he obviously knows what it is and whatever. And he looks up how Nobunaga dies, and he tears that page out, and he's like, you can rewrite history, and like throws it away. It's so good.
Yeah.
Alright, so after G, and we had that whole like what the fuck is it called? It's called Kanshi. Let's talk about seppuku for some time. There was the episode, my favorite episode, which was episode 3, being the Viper of Mino, which was about Kicho's dad, and this is the first time we learn about other people.
You get to see Kicho wearing a policeman's hat, and it's the most adorablest thing ever. I saw it in because one thing that I liked about this show was you see like flashes of the next episode during the credits, and I saw that like on the side of one of the buildings. You see Kicho have the hat on her head, and I was like, "What is this? What is this going on in my life right now?" I'm so bad.
So yeah, there was that whole episode with Saito Dosan, who was Kicho's dad, who was also a policeman who had slipped back in time and just... I like how everyone in this world is just like, oh, this is a bit shitty, and then just deals with it. They're just like, okay, I guess I've got to make a living now and become a samurai or whatever.
Oh, well.
I don't know.
I just loved in this episode how chill Saburai was when they like threw his robe in the river. Advertise those two, and he's just like, I'll just go get another one.
I love those guys so much. Those two just make me laugh.
What's the other guy? It's Maeda and someone else.
I don't
can't remember the guy's name.
I like when Saburo hires them. He's like on the horse, and he's like, "You remind me of a dog." One. That was so good.
It was so good.
It's the fact that Maeda plays along as well. Just kind of is his character perfectly. And I like how that echoes in later on in the 10th episode as well, when he's like, this is like the story of Momotaro. We don't have a dog. Who have I got that's a dog? And then just looks at Maeda, and Maeda's just like, wham!
I like to think that they've had that in-joke going for 25 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what did everybody think about this episode?
It was sad, made me cry.
Did it surprise you that it turns out that he was a police officer from the... Oh, no, you never find out what year he's from, do you?
No.
Okay. From present day, then, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like present day minus... It seems like... It's either present day minus 30... Oh, I suppose it can't be, because... I don't know, it's weird, because it doesn't actually place it, does it?
Yeah, they sort of come from random times and head into random times.
I think he's from the 70s. I think it's established at some point in the lore that he's from the 70s.
Okay, that makes sense. That he would get like thrown back the exact amount of years. But yeah, that completely caught me off guard. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Okay, because I suppose with Saburo being the protagonist, I guess there's just part of my brain that's wired to assume he'll be the only person in this situation.
Yeah.
And because it was so random and just like came out of nowhere, it just didn't cross my mind to think that other people could be in this situation.
The thing
you get no less than 3 other characters.
Yeah. The thing that separates Saburo, though, is it can't be coincidence that he literally has Nobunaga's face.
Yeah.
And are the other
Is
characters...
he a child of himself?
Ooh.
Grandfather paradox going on here.
Whoa. That is a crazy time travel story you could make out of that. But yeah, like I wonder if like any of the other guys had like a doppelganger back in Sengoku period that they just perhaps didn't meet or something, or if it's exclusively Saburo's destiny to do this.
Yeah. I think it's exclusively Saburo that was in that situation.
Just with a drastically different hair colour that nobody noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one thing I didn't get. I'm like, he clearly doesn't sound the same, and he clearly has different hair. How do you...
Well, if we had 2 characters voiced by Mamo, that'd be a bit too hot to handle.
Oh, yeah. I do like the fact that actually, the guy who plays Nobunaga in the drama is the narrator of this series.
Ew.
Thought that was an interesting little tidbit to throw in there.
Tidbit.
Ew.
Ooh. But yeah, I'm kind of sad that he didn't stick around. Like Saito didn't stick around for that long. He was like in for an episode and then he was dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that Saburo went to his aid, even though he was like, yeah, we've got like 3,000 men against an army of about, what, 17,000? Yeah, we'll probably be fine.
It's because he was Kicho's dad.
I know.
It was
I'm
important.
gonna go
Because he was like, he was really like, I really liked Saburo and Kicho's relationship. I thought it was really, really nice.
Yeah.
Considering that is not how political marriage goes in ancient Japan.
No, not at all.
It's like it's like Kicho said, like before Saburo took over, she barely saw him, and yeah, it's just the fact, and then just the fact that he's like, yeah, let's go on a date.
Yeah.
Let's go for a walk in the field.
And she's like, what?
Date or?
I like that the first episode is pretty much just them going on dates and everyone going, he's going on dates again.
It's so
basically the first episode.
This. But then you just see Kicho being so happy.
Yep.
And it's like
it's complete contrast to how she was in the drama, because she was like, just get away from me, I don't want to be anywhere near you because you're the worst and I hate you so much, just go away. And I was like, oh my god.
To be fair, like, a lot of that's down to one of their first scenes together, where he just kind of gets undressed.
Yeah, he's like, oh
he's
man,
like,
I've got a wife.
Yeah, I've got a wife, just gets undressed.
And she's like, no.
That's not how it works. Oh dear.
Which didn't happen in...
Yeah, which leads me to wonder, like, which one's closer to the source material. Assuming this is, because dramas tend to take more liberties.
I'm not sure, you know. Tell you what does weird me out, though, is that I'm pretty sure one of Mori's kids becomes, like, Nobunaga's gay lover at some point. I'm pretty sure, like, I think it's Ranmaru?
No, not Ranmaru. He's the best one.
He's the smallest one.
Ranmaru.
No, he's not the smallest one. He's the second smallest one.
Yeah.
He's the one whose name I remember the most.
He's the most adorablest one, though.
He was an attendant to Oda Nobunaga. Okay. Oda and Mori's lord-vassal relationship was thought to have followed the Nanshoku tradition, an intimate relationship, and was widely admired in Japan for its strength. In Nanshoku literature of the Edo period, it was widely understood that Oda and Mori had a sexual relationship that was commonly found in those times.
Right, so Nanshoku literature is like ancient yaoi. It's like, I'm not a Fujoshi, I read Nanshoku literature.
Friggin' Oichi's there being like, oh Nia-chan.
I'm using that as an excuse from now on.
Oh god. I'm
pretty sure he was with Nobunaga when he died as well.
I'm trying to think of what anime it was where there was a Fujoshi who was obsessed with Warring States people.
Oh!
Yeah, right?
That sounds familiar.
Was it Genshiken?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if it was Genshiken. Chat, help.
Yeah.
Chat, help.
There was a Fujoshi in there who was obsessed with, like...
Can I just say, apparently there are
Warring
37
States
people
guys
watching now, and that makes me so happy, because that means 37 people have watched this show.
Either that, or they're just like...
Well,
they're just muting it and looking at our pretty faces. They're hoping I get hyped like last time.
Emily's saying Princess Jellyfish.
One of the girls in Princess Jellyfish is obsessed with the Warring States.
Yeah, that'll
okay.
be it. That'll be
I
it.
see.
Thanks, Emily.
Cheers, Emily.
Thank you.
Daughter-son.
So, I don't really remember what happens in episode 4. Moving on from my little...
Pony.
See, I know bits and pieces about...
It's weird, like my concept of time from this series is just completely messed up from the fact that it's only 10 episodes.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, that must have happened around episode
Blends
4 or
into
5.
itself, yeah.
And then I realised that's
Lots of
halfway through
events.
the series.
Oh, it's got to be like I think it's like another battle that happens next, isn't it?
Oda's army only has 3,000 and Yoshimoto Imagawa's massive army of 40,000.
This is where he dicks off Imagawa. And it's like, just ignore everyone else. Not a bit
I'll just go straight for him. Yeah.
Kill that bloke.
And I really appreciate how, because of how butt the entire show looks, they just didn't show action, because the show was about politics and comedy and history rather than action, and it knew where to focus itself, and I appreciated that.
You see these in chat.
UCD!
Oh my checks, UCD.
Oh man, UCD. Well.
Everyone a gem. Every comment is gold.
It is.
Now is this? I think this might be the good job episode. Where they go, good job.
Good job.
Yeah, that's where. Is this where leader happens?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it? I thought leader was
they go and scout. Yeah, they go and scout and they find out that because they scout and they're like they've just gone to bed, and then he charges in when they're all like on the low.
Because they build that fort in like a day as well. It's kind of how Hideyoshi manages to wriggle his way.
Hideyoshi is all like.
Is Hideyoshi part of like his retainers at this point, or is this like one of the things that makes him?
When he made the fort, he was just a bloke.
Wait,
like
does he make the fort after this? Because he's still like a.
Because making the fort and attacking them while they were asleep, I'm pretty sure is the same thing. Because they turn up. Oh no!
Because he's like, aren't we preparing for siege or whatever? And he's all like, oh bugger, and he's all like, oh bugger, he killed.
Oh yes,
this is when he gets embarrassed. This is the reason why he fucking hates Nobunaga. Because
that's right. Yeah, carry on.
Because of Imagawa dying.
Yeah,
that's why Hideyoshi's kind of like reputation's been fucked over.
Oh yeah.
I just find it like because I don't know like the grander things that happen afterwards with Hideyoshi. He is like one of the biggest letdowns of the series because throughout he's got all these plans, he's gonna do all these evil things, but the entire show he just helps him.
Yeah.
And it's just like assumed he's gonna fuck him over later, but he just helps him, does nothing but good things in aiding the man's rise throughout the entire show. And every now and then he's like, oh, I'm gonna make something bad happen this time, and then someone's like, no, I'm gonna tag along with you. He's like, oh, I'll get you next time, Nobunaga Oda.
You bugger. I was going to betray you, and then Mitsuhide turned up, and now he's watching me. I'm all nervous.
Michi. Like the fact he calls him Michi.
Yeah.
He's like, is that my name now? Is that seriously my name now?
He's not gonna call him Nobu-chan.
Nobu-chan. Yuki-chan!
Things went weird. Yeah, I don't think I've got anything to say about this episode, apart from
it was good.
It was genius. He is
good job.
Tactics. This is where Nobunaga stops being the fool.
That was the first part. That was like the only part in the series where I had to rewind and watch something again. When he was all like, "Good job."
Yeah.
The three blokes just like, "Good job, yeah."
Yeah. Was Nobunaga well known for being a foolish person? Because I'm assuming so. Because we've got a series called Nobunaga the Fool, and then they started calling Nobunaga a fool in this, and I was like, oh, is that like a thing that they call him?
Nobunaga's known for his guns, and the series called Nobunaga Gun. It shouldn't exist.
Oh, God.
He basically, a lot of people, it's the whole thing of, he was really, really clever, so naturally everyone thought he was insane.
Yeah. He was a madcap, crazy person.
It was the Charles Darwin of his time.
Yeah, and I wonder at any point if in the series the sword he was holding was Swords of Samonji. Probably not.
I can't imagine Saburo being that person who finds a sword and like kills someone for it and then carves on the tang, here is the mark of the madman, whatever it fucking was. Like, here, I beat someone up for this sword, yo, and I don't know. I can't imagine Saburo doing stuff like that. Like, I can't imagine him being this really menacing demon king that everyone knows him for.
Well, to be honest,
that's hinted at, though. I think that side of thing, the demon king, is Mitsuhide. Because after they destroy the Buddhist temple, he's like, demon king? Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah.
And
it's all a bit weird.
Because we never ever see Saburo get his hands dirty.
This is another thing I
never really like. I would honestly like be willing to guess like Saburo never actually kills anyone either, and just kind of like puts these things in place because he knows they're meant to happen, but doesn't actually engage in the act of killing anyone himself.
While we're on the topic, just this is a random thing, which is another reason why I really wish this show would continue, is Mitsuhide, like the actual Mitsuhide person, was another person, along with Hideyoshi, who was instrumental in Nobunaga's death.
Killed him, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he was the guy who nobbled him. So, like, in this series, Mitsuhide is Nobunaga. So does that mean that he inevitably betrays and kills Saburo.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. That's the one thing
knows?
that I was like, oh my god, are they going to make it so that Nobunaga kills his body double? Is that a thing that they're going to do? Because that's basically what they seem to be hinting at.
Yeah.
Where does the name Akechi Mitsuhide come from? In the series, does he sort of pull it out of his arse, or is that his idea to give himself that name?
He names it from somewhere, but I can't know because he just turns up and goes, "Yeah, that's my name."
Okay,
and then,
he's like, "Oh, by the way,"
because like if Saburo was clued in and he read about his death like the moment he got there, I was just like, wait, I'm gonna get killed by me.
It's like when he's reading up about, when he remembers the Honoji incident.
Yeah,
and he's like,
I
get killed by a guy and his name's like A something Mitsuhide. No, that can't be it.
I think that was one of the things that surprised me, because I was like learning little bits and pieces about Japanese history while I was watching this show, and then actual Nobunaga comes in and he's like, "You can call me Akechi Mitsuhide," and I was like,
"Oh, yeah."
It's just like, what?
How does that work?
But maybe what will happen is Saburo will kill Akechi Nobunaga, real Nobunaga, and then pretend to be Akechi Mitsuhide and go off into...
You're only saying that because you don't want Saburo.
I don't want Saburo to die!
Saburo will just leave the Warring States, period. Like, if Saburo dies, he's not dead. He has to go home. We have to see him
We
home.
don't know that because they haven't fucking finished it.
The thing is, like, well, just for kind of like, I guess, satisfying ending reasons, they have to have Saburo go home.
He goes home.
He has to give the police officer.
Finds the police officer outfit. Goes and gives it to the daughter. The daughter looks exactly the same as Kicho, and they go on a date.
Like, so
it should be like really old.
Yeah.
The most logical thing to happen would be for literally to have like actual Nobunaga, who is Mitsuhide, kill Saburo, so that's Nobunaga dying, and then Mitsuhide goes on to actually continue the story as Mitsuhide, and this is kind of just an alternate version of how Mitsuhide came into being, or whatever.
And
so Saburo goes home, and then he goes to ancient Egypt.
I actually think that Nobunaga committed seppuku. I'm actually thinking that now. And that's why Ranmaru was there. Instead of him getting, like, killed as well. No. I remember now. I remember what I've read on Wikipedia is that I think Nobunaga kills himself and then Ranmaru kills himself.
Oh.
Suicide.
I think. I'm not sure, but we'll see. No, he won't. Actually, he might.
Clearly, we all need to watch Sengoku Basara so we can find out.
Yeah.
We should all just read the goddamn book.
Or read the book, yeah.
Yeah.
No, we should just watch a 10-hour loop of Owakata-sama! Yukimura!
Yukimura!
Owakata-sama!
Yukimura! Yeah, but the whole Attack of the Shingen thing. This is kind of one of the reasons why I had no idea what was going on, because Sengoku Basara, like the first season that I watched, is set after all of this shit.
It's so confusing. Maybe because Buddhism was quite a big thing back in those days, and they believe in reincarnation. Maybe when Saburo dies, he does go back and is reincarnated as himself.
He just lands on that floor after he fell all that time.
My spine!
He destroyed a temple, so Buddha clearly hates him.
That's he didn't do it.
Yeah, but he ordered it to be done.
Well, he did order it, but he didn't do it. Or did like that line where the monk was talking to Mori's son, and he was like, what did he say exactly? It was something like, "Oh, you can't do this here. You're tainting the land with blood." And he's like, "Well, is your blood tainted? Because I'm only spilling the blood of monks on this. There will be no samurai blood," or whatever it was. And I was like, oh.
I just
like a fucking warrior.
Just need like air horns and like.
He was the king of burns because he was like, you should have thought about this before you got involved in a samurai war.
Yup. Andy was the king of burns because he was setting fire to them.
I love the fact that when they first turn up, there's that monk just sitting outside, and then the horses turn up, and one guy just lobs a torch in there, and he's like,
It's like, you can't do this. Watch me, bitch.
Episode 5 is where they build the fort.
Yeah, build the
yeah.
fort. I love Lego.
So at this point, Hideyoshi is still Tokichiro?
Yeah, that name that he stole. Get your needles! Get your
Get
heroin!
needle. I'll buy one. Yeah, you will.
If I could steal someone's identity, I wouldn't be like, you know what I want to be is a needle seller.
Well, he's not going to be a supermodel looking like that, is he? He's like...
The one thing that fucks me off about this anime is that I can deal with everyone's character designs apart from his because he just looks like a slime ball.
Yeah, he does.
The thing is, right, he even like his mannerisms, he acts like one as well, because he does that thing where he's like, his hands together, he's like, hello, Nobunaga.
What he is basically is he's a human. He acts like a human version of Squealer.
He's sort of like the happy mask salesman from
yeah. Got a mask.
Zelda. He's like,
Wanna buy a mask?
wanna buy some needles?
They're good for sewing stuff shut.
I like the fact that when he first goes to like see if he can get a job with the Nobunaga family, that G guy was just like,
yeah, G's like,
he
nah,
saw through
fucking
straight
knows,
up.
like,
Just like, no.
no mate. And then he gets killed by him.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
It's like, oh.
What did you think of Hideyoshi, Megu? Just as a character in general. I like how I asked you this the moment you went for your water.
I'm sorry. Yeah, pretty much everything that you guys already said, you know, it's just the way he like looks and like his mannerisms. It's like it's kind of shady. It's like, come on.
Yeah, you just know.
Like you should really pick up on it.
Well, it's just that, and everyone does except Saburo.
Yeah, everyone's like, there's something a bit weird about this guy.
He's a bit off, isn't he? He's a bit funky.
Yeah.
Then Saburo's just like, he built me a fucking fort. I love forts.
In a night! One night!
I want to know at which point he decides that he's gonna like suck up to everyone. He's like, I'll take some of your name and some of your name, and now I've got a new name.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
I've got a new
You're
name which is
pissing
made up
off
of all your
everyone.
names and a dinosaur from Super Mario.
Yeah.
That's all I can do. Whenever anyone has Yoshi in their name, that's all I can think of.
So after the fort, we go to where we meet Akachi, which we've already sort of talked about.
That bit was cool. Like part of me was wondering after the first few episodes if we were ever actually gonna see him again, because he just seemed to vanish. We saw him a couple of times, and I was like, "Are you actually gonna?"
He was creeping a bit when he
Yeah, that's what I mean. You see him creep a bit, but then like there's nothing of worth, and I was like, well, how could he get involved? And then obviously the whole Mitsuhide thing happened, so I was like, yes.
And then you were like, oh no, I realise what you did in history. No.
It's like, why is your face covered up? And he's like, I got the flu.
He's had the flu for 20 years.
It's been 84 years of bronchitis.
It's a pretty good excuse, though, I guess.
Yeah.
There's excuses.
Everyone seems to accept it straight away. They're like, "Oh, fair enough. Don't give it to me."
Don't
I
give me
don't
the
get
logo.
how no one looked at his eyes and went, "You look familiar."
You got the exact same guy liner on as our
The only person that comes anywhere near close to seeing through him is someone who we haven't really spoken about yet, and that's Oichi. He was just like, you look and sound exactly like my brother. Pretty much.
Isn't he always sort of like this around him, like?
Yeah, he kind of makes sure to not. I loved Oichi. She was great.
Yeah,
she was
yeah.
She's like, only on
She's
dates
playable
too.
in the Sengoku Basara game, isn't she? All like
Is she?
sad and
It's good. It's
got,
because
like, ghosts and spirits.
the
and
way
stuff.
that it works in Sengoku Basara is that oh shit, what's his name? Her husband.
Azai
Azai is a freaking legend. He's just awesome. and she actually like properly falls in love with him. Then he dies. Then he betrays Nobunaga. So then she's all like, well, now I'm really conflicted. Then he dies. Then Nobunaga dies. So now she's just like, well, fuck, what do I do now? I'm really sad.
Which I think is pretty much what happened in real life without the ghostly spirits and hack and slash stuff. So
yeah, pretty much. She got the shit end of the stick hard.
This episode is also the one where we, I think, meet Oichi and they decide to like have her marry his eye.
This is also the episode where
they don't decide at the same time. The episode where Oichi gets introduced is the episode called Love Letter.
Okay, so we've met her before then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the one where she finds the snake and she's all like, yeah, look, I found a snake, yeah.
And you're like, good job.
I'm like, yes, I love you, woman. And she does the puffy face, which is the best thing ever.
Yeah, yeah.
It fucking skips around with Oichi a bit. I think this is where we realise how big the time skips are, because we go from one episode where she's introduced and she obviously hasn't seen Nobunaga in fucking years at this point, to becoming Azai's wife, to the next episode having a kid with him.
Having a kid
being pregnant with the next one.
Is just piecing out all over the place, rolling around.
With the rolling baby.
Yeah.
That baby, Cha-Cha or whatever her name was,
Cha-Cha.
was just awesome. And those eyebrows, man. They literally just copy and pasted Azai's eyebrows onto her.
Fucking hell. I think it's Akichi who makes Saburo realise that he needs to, like, marry off his sister. Because I don't think he wants to. I think he's really, really conflicted about doing it.
Well, yeah, and then the fact that Oichi's just like, no!
I don't want to do that.
No!
I want to marry you, Oni-chan.
Oh, you can, because it's not incestual, because I'm not really your brother.
I got 2 wives. Polygamy.
I'm gonna marry you and celebrate the alliance between Oda and Oda. Best alliance.
When does the bagged rat thing happen? Because that was like a right big jump in logic.
Again, that's like the episode after that.
Yeah.
Because it's
it's just like, it's a bag. It's tied here. That could mean bagged rat. That could mean we've been betrayed.
What does that mean? Because it basically like that chain of events goes fucking mental. Because it's just Oichi gets introduced, Oichi gets married off, Oichi has a kid, Azai betrays Nobunaga. No. Nobunaga makes someone a shogun. The shogun betrays Nobunaga. Azai betrays Nobunaga. It all just goes wrong instantly.
And then she sends him a bag of fucking beans with like a marble in it. And he's like, oh, I know what this means.
This means beans.
I was like, how the hell?
This means we should make bean jam.
I feel like they actually explain how it works in the drama, but I don't remember it, so I can't explain to you
how it works making bean jam.
No, I mean how that wholesome. I don't know if they did it in the anime. It could be in the anime for all I know, but they like explained what that means exactly, like the fact that it was tied at both ends or whatever means something.
Yeah. They do explain it in the anime because they're basically like, well, it's tied at both ends, which means that there's 2 enemies on either side, and we are beans. Which means that
we are beans.
I don't get how that becomes bagged rat unless that's just like a big saying.
They're gonna squish us and turn us into delicious jam.
No.
She's eating the jam. It's like, oh, this is nice, but I don't want to look like that.
This jam is us. No.
Tell you what I want in my life is Warring States period delivery, because they're just like, oh, I know this is a really inconvenient time because you're in the middle of a battle, but here you go, I got a parcel for you. I'm like, I can't even get a parcel in like 2 weeks.
It's like, can you sign for this? Cheers.
Anyway, where were we? So after we meet Akichi and Oichi's married off and has a kid, this is where Saburo names 4 generals. One of which is Tokichiro, who then gets the name
Hideyoshi.
Hideyoshi Hashiba, I think.
Yes.
Hashiba Hideyoshi.
It's
him, it's Mitsuhide, it's Mori.
It's not Mori. It's
No, it's not Mori, is it?
It's Shibata Katsui and Niwa Nagahide. I can't
so
read
many
Japanese names
names.
without putting them in a stupid fucking Nagahide.
Nagahide.
If you just said them normally, though, people would be like, "You're not saying it right because you're putting your Englishness on a
It's Nagahide, innit?
Nagahide."
Shibata Katsui Niwa Nagahide, Mitsuhide, and Tokichiro.
Mitsuhide,
He changes his
yeah.
name to Hashiba Hideyoshi for the occasion.
Yeah. A new guy gets brought in.
Then they meet. Wait. I'm reading the Wikipedia thing because I don't remember what happens or what order it happens in. Saburo orders Hideyoshi against the Asakura clan. Does he?
Well, the Asakura clan, because that's the whole thing with them. When
that's who they're conflicting with at the time.
Right. Okay.
yeah, because that's when bloody what's his name?
Because they're conflicting
Phrase
with
that-
Asakura when the other guys betray them.
Azai goes, "Yep, go on then."
It's fucking
I'll betray you.
politics is really fucking complicated in this time period because everyone's just like, "Oh, I'll betray him now."
To be honest,
Alright.
it's that politics is really complicated when it's sort of fed to you at a shotgun pace,
Yeah.
like 5 years in an episode kind of thing. Like these events are huge and they deliver them to you in minutes, which kind of like
It's very confusing.
which
Yeah.
again ties back into the whole thing of you'd probably get a lot more out of it
Yeah.
if you were fully clued in.
Which obviously we aren't because we don't even learn about this stuff in school.
Yeah.
One of these things that I keep telling
Yeah.
myself I really need to bone up on ancient Japanese history, but
Yeah.
it never happens because it's so dense.
Yeah.
And of course, it's all bloody. A lot of it to get like the real facts and stuff to know what happened and when. It's all bloody war reports that are boring as hell.
Yeah. Like Megan, were there parts of the show for you where you kind of felt like you were missing out on something based on not knowing the bigger picture?
Yeah, definitely. There were points where I was just like, or I was a bit like confused about like the details of it. Well, obviously, I got it in the end, and like I did like do like a quick like Google search just to check that I knew what was happening. So yeah, it was like a bit confusing at times considering I knew like very little. Like I'd heard a couple of the names and that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
I've
So
heard
it
of
was
Mamoru
quite-
Miyano.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
it's got Mamo.
Because the main draw of the series, for me anyway, is a lot of the stuff that just kind of happens at face value. Like the little character interactions, stuff that you don't need the broader history to understand. So that if you could couple that with basically like knowing the entire picture and then just going, oh, every time you know where they're going based on the history,
Yeah.
I think it could be like proper bow.
I really liked that there was. This is jumping back a bit, but when Saburo gives Tokugawa the porn mag,
Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah.
and it just completely shapes his character. He's like, I really like women. They're great.
Was like he known as a womanizer? Like his that his kind of historical ding dong?
Again, all I know about Ieyasu Tokugawa is that he was a boxer that wore a hoodie. And runs around
was he yellow guy?
Yeah, that's yellow guy.
Okay.
And he has a mate called Tadakatsu Honda who is a robot.
Yeah.
You need to get rid of this Sengoku Basara logic out of your head.
No, I don't. No, I don't. I need more Sengoku
God,
Basara
I need to
logic.
watch season 2 well bad, man. Because
Yeah,
season 1, I don't even remember it having a story. All
Well,
I remember is fighting.
Season 1 is really weird because all the history's jumbled up. Because like Tokugawa dies in season 1, like at the end.
What?
Yeah, and then
He's
season
like
2.
the third unifier of Japan. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that didn't happen.
Yeah, the end of
Wait.
season 3.
Wait, Tokugawa's the yellow hoodie guy with the gloves. With the
Yeah,
patch
but
in
in
the hood.
season 1.
He's not in season 1.
Yeah, he is. He's the
swear.
little yellow guy. With like little, there's a little yellow guy who doesn't really do very much.
Is
That's
he-
Tokugawa.
Is he not wearing that outfit in season 1? Yeah, okay. That's why I
No,
didn't know.
he's wearing he looks completely different.
Okay.
They just kind of, I think they downplayed him to upplay Nobunaga, and then obviously that all kicks up. But yeah, season 3, because Sengoku Basara doesn't really have a flowing timeline. Because season 3 is about Tokugawa. It's about Tokugawa and Ishida, Mitsunari Ishida, who are like big, and it's all about after Hideyoshi becomes the big bad in Japan, and everyone like he's basically oppressing everyone, and then Tokugawa turns around and goes, "Now I'm going to nobble you, mate."
Fucking punch you.
Yeah. So yeah, Basara is weird, but again, anything that really kind of uses this as a source material is a bit odd because it seems like they kind of pick and choose bits of history that they want.
Well, especially bloody Nobunaga the Fool, with the amount of bloody people who they put from other parts of history into that.
Yeah, here's
story.
like Joan of Arc. I was like, what the fuck?
There's Jack the Ripper in it. Oh no,
that's Nobunaga.
Is that the one where it's like Florence Nightingale is Jack the Ripper? Spoilers.
Yeah. That's fucking bad show. Nobunaga the Fool had mechs in it, and Joan of Arc was there, and it's like, what?
Thing is,
what is Joan of Arc?
Was it Leonardo da Vinci?
Leonardo da Vinci was
Leonardo da Vinci was the guy who designed the mech.
There's this one series that keeps popping up on like AniChart and stuff. I can't remember exactly what it's called. It's got like Dullahan in the name. And the key visual for it looks really damn cool. And it's basically about Warring States period Japan, but they don't wear armor, it's mechs. And I'm just like, I want to see that! I want to see that, it looks great.
Me and Alan have still got the challenge of watching Nobunaga.
Yeah, we've still got, what else have we got from that season to finish? It's that and Nisekoi.
Yeah, we finished everything
and
else.
Sam Flam.
Oh, and Sam Flam, yeah.
We finished the short ones. it's the long ones we haven't finished.
Watch Sam Flam. Because I'll just bitch the entire time.
To be honest, with our rate of going it, me and Evie aren't going to be there when we watch Sam.
Actually, no. Can I watch the first half with you, and then I'll just leave?
We've already watched the first half. We're on like episode 15 or something.
Watch the best bit.
This is not related to Nobunaga Concerto.
It's alright. There was a tangent and a line of things. We're still talking about anime. These people just like hearing our voices. Most of them haven't seen the show.
Moving on, because this is the episode where apparently he meets Matsunaga Hisahide, who's also a time traveler, and I don't remember which one that is.
I'm assuming that's the
Yakuza guy.
That's the Yakuza guy
Right,
with the scar on his face.
So apparently he's a fleeting thing in this episode, because that's all it says about it on Wikipedia. The Shogun asks various daimyo to destroy Nobunaga, and the Azai clan answers the call.
Yeah, because when they see Yakuza guy, nothing really happens. Because he basically just goes, I got these markings on me from God.
He's like, tattoos, Yakuza, Yakuza.
We're just going to be like, that's a tattoo, innit?
And he's just like, me and you need to talk in private one day.
And then he comes out in his fucking white suit being like, yeah.
And the bit at the end where actual Nobunaga sits down with him. And it's just like, what? From the future? Do.
Didn't they have that conversation where they realised that Saburo wasn't from that time period? Because when he first met Nobunaga, he was all like, "Oh, you're filming a drama."
Yeah. I'm sure, like,
where's
at that
the
point,
TV crew?
actual Nobunaga was just well confused.
Yeah, he's
just
no
like,
idea.
you look like me.
This man fell out of the sky.
It was a gift from heaven, like a god that had come down to help him out.
I am your doppelgangers. I will take over. I will plow your wife.
That reminds me of the one thing that I did like going back to the very first episode when Nobunaga's like, I need you and your manly face to help me. Use your manly face. Become me. Yeah. The whole thing with Azai just broke my heart. Made me really sad.
I felt really bad for Oichi. Because she clearly
I felt bad for Azai as well, because he was strong-armed into that.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't want to do it.
He seemed like a pretty solid chap.
Yeah.
And Oichi seemed like she was actually quite warm to him.
And then that happened, and she was just like, fuck off!
Yeah. And she's like, you can't be my brother. My brother's fucking pro.
And we don't know how that concludes, because it doesn't show it in the anime.
No.
He doesn't win, though. Nobunaga definitely...
It just depends whether he beats him first. I'm not sure how soon Nobunaga dies.
If
they could have killed him off in another 2 episodes, I'm well sold.
Actually, I think he might have committed seppuku as well, you know?
God, man. More like Sengoku emos.
I'm just like,
Crawling in my skin.
That's great.
In my armor because I fell asleep in it and it's fucking uncomfortable.
Was his name Nagamasa?
Nagamasta bin.
Huh? Yeah, he was the brother-in-law. Right, let's see how he died.
Yes.
Historical spoilers.
Nagamasa had no hope of winning and chose to commit seppuku.
Yay!
Hey.
That's like the fourth one.
These guys need
Just
to
need a
stop
counter.
committing school uniform.
There's a lot of seppuku, and we don't get to see a single seppuku in this, I would like to point out.
Aw.
No one commits seppuku in this series.
It's because they couldn't animate it properly.
Yeah, probably.
Like CGI intestines.
Like, whoever acted the guy who commits seppuku in the drama, it looked fucking real. Like, the way, like, his eyes were, like, popping out of his fucking head. Like,
Maybe they
he looked
forgot
like
to
he
give
was
him the
so
fake
much
knife.
pain. Shit!
Oh no! Oh god! Better sell it. Better sell it. We only got one take of this. Good thing I'm killed off this episode. No, bro, we need you for the flashbacks later.
That's method acting at its finest.
Yeah.
Like in Lord of the Rings, where Legolas kicks the skull and breaks his toe. Aragorn kicks the thing and breaks his toe, and that's the take in the film. And you actually see him break his toe in the film.
Oh my goodness! Sorry, I've
I
just
know,
seen
right? He's a real good actor.
I was just reading a bit of things. Nobunaga was a bit of a knob.
Oh yeah.
He was a bellend. Everyone was a bellend.
I think this is the only like Nobunaga thing where Nobunaga's like not the villain.
I know. So
Apart from
apparently, before Nagamasa died, he sent Oichi and their sons out to go and live somewhere, like in refuge.
yeah.
Oichi then went to live with Nobunaga with her daughters, but not her sons. And then Nobunaga was like, "Tell me where your sons are. I'll go get them. I want them to live here, and like I'll raise them. I'll be the like fatherly figure in their life." And then he had Hideyoshi execute one of them, and his head was displayed on a stake.
Oh.
Lovely. I think Matt puts it nicely by saying this stream is bloody morbid. This is the most morbid stream that we've had ever.
Mm-hmm. Shout outs to Matt, by the way,
Yeah,
for
man.
making an awesome first video.
As he likes Mushishi, so he's already in the good books.
And also, happy birthday, Ollie! It's Ollie's birthday today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Ollie.
And
I like how we went.
Congratulations, you made it another year.
You've outlived.
Well, some people might eat steak on their birthday.
I like how we went
His
from
head's on a steak.
head on a steak.
A sirloin.
Happy birthday, Ollie!
Guess what I got you for your birthday?
Cake.
It's called being stabbed in the eye socket. No, that's another reference to something.
You haven't already got one. Anyway. I don't remember where we...
Betrayal.
Betrayal.
Sadness. Seppuku.
Saburo goes to Kyoto.
It's a nice holiday.
This doesn't sound like a lot happened in this episode. Like, he figured out that the Azai clan were after him. Saburo goes to Kyoto. Hideyoshi volunteers to lead the rear guard so he can finally exact revenge on the Oda, but Mitsuhide and Takenaka Hanbei. Hanbei is not a big character in this, actually. Like, I thought Hanbei was quite important in the history of
He is. Thing is, everyone is important.
Oh, yeah.
It just kind of downplays everyone except for Nobunaga for the most part.
Ollie is here.
Yay.
Learning
Hope
about
you
history.
watch Nobunaga Concerto, or otherwise you've had the history of Japan spoiled for you.
Oh no!
Oh no.
So they go with Hideyoshi, so he's got to be like, oh fuck, I gotta play this up and pretend that I actually want to save Nobunaga.
Because I'm being watched now. Like I say, you can't do it because he's being watched.
Yeah.
Like, this is where it started to get a little bit less interesting to me. Like, it did falter a bit for me about episode 8.
Yeah.
It just kind of got to the
It
point
was
where
so heavy in its politics and stuff that I probably should have known about before watching it.
it just kind of goes, now this happens, now this happens. I think it's just because it gets to a point where, because like the first 6 episodes or whatever, still kind of has the charm, because it has those like light-hearted scenes with Saburo kind of still doing this stuff that doesn't quite make sense in the time that he's in. But obviously, as the ball starts to get rolling on the actual storyline of Nobunaga's life, and things start going wrong, you lose an awful lot, if not all of that. Mm-hmm. So when bloody Young turns up, like that's the last piece of kind of jovial stuff that you get, but it's at a really bad time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like they should have switched around. They should have switched around the Young bit with the battle with the monks. They should have just switched those two bits around, and then it wouldn't have ended so morbidly, and they wouldn't have had that weird jarring thing like when you watch the episodes in, like when you watch them one after the other, you go from Mori dying to them going devil hunting or whatever, demon hunting.
To be honest, the Young bit could have been not in the series at all.
No, I like Young.
It was but it's just like he doesn't really achieve much. I guess.
Shout out to his voice actor.
Like,
Who was his voice actor? He was so good at playing like, oh, I don't speak Japanese as fluently as you.
I think I've heard of other things before.
I love that when they try and make foreign-looking characters sound foreign. I like that.
Like, I'm pretty sure. I think, well, to be honest, that's generally how they voice, like, Americans and stuff.
He reminds me of this character from Kyoryuger, who's like this Japanese Canadian guy called Ramirez. He's this massive, burly, like Caucasian guy, right? And he literally talks exactly like that.
Yeah. Well, Papa from Kuroko talks exactly like that as well.
Yeah, I suppose.
What is she? What? Ramirez des.
So yeah, it started to lose me a bit about episode 8, which was kind of a shame because I'd been enjoying it so much up to this point. I was like, oh my god, what's going to happen with Oichi and the Azai clan? And then it just sort of got a bit like, I don't know half of these characters because you haven't told me about them.
Yeah. And it sort of gets to that point where it's just like, oh, and he's running. Oh, and he's running again. Oh, he's got to run again. He's not achieving much. Here's some stuff that's happening. He's running. He's not dead, though.
So, in episode 9, basic cliff notes, let's go. Hideyoshi and Hanbei win and occupy Yokoyama. Saburo goes to Setsu to subjugate the Miyoshi. And then Mori dies. Mori's killed by these, like, monk soldiers.
Yeah, he does.
In the only battle in the series, I feel like.
Yeah, it's because it's the only... Well, I guess it's the only time they needed to show a battle.
This made me sad. I'm sad that they didn't really do that much with Mori in the show.
He had a fucking trident, mate.
On the subject of Mori, we've unfortunately skipped over the sumo wrestling contest.
Oh yeah, that was pro.
The bit where Mori just like chucks him.
Well, the bit where his kids are just like, Dad, you should let him win. He'll kill us.
and then Saburo's just like, no. And he does that thing where he claps in his face. Like, yes.
And then gets dicked over anyway.
So
I love how that's just this running theme that goes through. Like, one of the first things that we see Saburo doing when he's goofing off in the first episode is just wrestling with two random dudes by the river. Just like,
So, Mori dies in this episode, which was sad. Aww. And I don't think that, because of the way that the animation worked, I don't think that it looked that great.
Oh no.
Like, it looked a bit jank, to be honest.
Like, to be honest, to me, he didn't die there. He died when his, like, is it Ranmaru looks up and he's not there, and what's his face goes, I'm the head of the family now. That, to me, is when he dies. Like, in terms of, like, emotionally for the viewer.
Yeah.
Because when he dies on the battlefield, he's just like, Arr!
That's like fucking skewered, mate.
Yeah, he just gets, like, pincushioned. It's like he'll survive. Yeah,
I'll tell you what.
He's got a Naginata.
The way that they did, I keep bringing up the J drama, but I want to bring up the differences and stuff, so I'm going to keep doing it, so shut up. The way that they did Mori in the J drama was kind of completely different, because he was this really, like, not confident old man whose family fucking hated him, because he was, like, this really, he wasn't very honourable, like, hadn't really done a lot in terms of, like, large-scale battles, and he was like, I'm going to prove to my family that I can do it, and then gets killed, and it's really, really sad. And he was the one who opened, like, all the trade routes up and stuff, so Japan had this, like, they could trade between villages and stuff now, which they couldn't do before. They, like, just got rid of the tax or whatever it was that you needed to pay to do that. And they did his character way better in the J-drama, because I don't think I cared for Mori that much in the anime, and I was like, oh, Mori's died, okay, I guess. But when it happened in the drama, I was genuinely really sad. I actually might have cried.
Seems like that was kind of, I suppose, Mori in the anime has kind of more of a heroic death, whereas from what you've said of the J drama, that's more like a tragic death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he always seemed like a warrior, because I think when, in the next episode, when they go to, like, the monk place and they take his son with them, and they're like, oh, he's a warrior just like his father. That's not what he was like at all in the drama. And I feel like that's why the drama's still worth watching, even if you've seen this and you're like, well, I've got a lot out of it, so it's just completely different. But
what you said about Kicho, I'm just like, no, if she's not horrible, then
yeah, but when she's she gets, like, so many good episodes, like, ridiculously good episodes.
How long is the drama again?
I think it's 11 episodes, but they're about 45 minutes long each.
How much does it go any further?
It goes right up to just before the Hanoji incident, and then there's going to be a movie next January that's going to finish it off.
Pro.
So we won't get to see that movie.
That must mean the flipping manga's got to be sorted out already, unless they're
You'd think so, but I don't think it is. I think they're just, like...
It's in the Egypt arc.
YOLO in it. So, yes. Go watch the drama, is the conclusion to that. If you enjoyed the anime, and you're like, man, I really want to find out what happens, go watch the drama.
That's
like,
what Fuji TV wanted you to do. That's why this is valid, we assume.
It's on Crunchyroll, so you can watch it now.
Yeah, you have a way of watching
Should we just do, like, OKKO Drama Club every now and then?
I really, like, if we ever did, like...
Oh, then we could do the fucking Death Note drama, because it's,
if we did that, putting my foot down, we're doing Ultraman X.
Maybe we should do that as a spin-off project.
Oh, we could frickin', we need to, like, talk to honchos at Crunchyroll so we can do bloody Densha.
Can you just put Densha Otoko on there,
please? Can you put Densha on Crunchyroll, please?
If you've seen Densha Otoko the movie, the guy who plays Densha Otoko in the movie is Hideyoshi in the drama. Yep. Fucking weird, because it's just like the opposite of what Densha was as a character. It's like, oh, really sweet shy guy ends up being fucking slimeball Hideyoshi who needs to die.
Right.
Anyway, I'll keep going off on tangents about the drama, but I think I'm done. Go watch it, because I don't want to spoil anything that happens. So go watch it.
Talia, I think you would be able to watch the drama, because I know you don't like blood, but Ebby is a wimp when it comes to that stuff, and if she watched it, you can handle it.
You can do it.
There were no eye gouging scenes, so I'm good. So yeah, after Mori dies, we then meet Young in the biggest change of my life.
Young!
I love his design, because he's like this massive burly black man with the prettiest eyelashes ever.
It was just great how he's like, demon, oh my god, and he walks in, she's like, oh, she's black.
Yeah.
Again, I love that about some of the things that Saburo says are so, like,
he's so, like, matter of fact.
It's like a bit where they talk about they're talking about tactics or something, and somebody goes, oh, if we do this, then this will happen, and then Saburo goes, yeah, that would suck. It's just like, Oh man, the things you say.
And the last thing that happens is the monk battle.
I thought that episode was quite good. It was like really intense.
I thought that bit of the episode was good. I liked the bit with Young as well. I just think that could have been switched around so it didn't feel so jarring.
I guess then though, because then they'd have the bit with Young, and then the series would just like end.
Yeah.
Well, they'd have that bit where it'd play the ending, and Nobunaga would quote lyrics from the song in Japanese. Because I've decided to live for you. Like, that happened. So, and then the series just ended.
Yeah.
It does just end, doesn't it?
It just fucking ends.
It genuinely seems like one of those shows where it just goes, and then the journey continues, and you feel like there's got to be another episode after that, but there just isn't.
Yeah.
And they're never going to make another one.
It ends in the middle of fucking nowhere. Like, in terms of how they structure the last scene, it's definitely got that feeling of an ending to it without any sort of conclusion of anything. Like, with what they say to each other and everything, it's definitely like a mid-season gap kind of episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a
the narrator's like, this is when the true concerto begins, and it's like,
yeah.
we just watched for 10 episodes.
Did we just watch Nobunaga? Not really a concerto, but will become a concerto.
Yeah. Let's say concerto as many times as we can.
Nobunaga Joe.
Continuity error Chito.
So yeah, that's the end of the series.
Way.
See ya.
Hey.
Bye, anime.
So let's talk about Elephant in the Room.
It looked fucking awful.
Right,
Oh my god.
I'm gonna give it props, right, where it's due. If it wasn't moving, it looked great.
I think the backgrounds are genuinely
the backgrounds and stuff, and like
Yeah.
those little animated bits with like the history and whatever.
Yeah.
Like those look really cool, and then the
the
character
font's
models
nice.
look so bad.
Yeah, I mean, if they
The,
were
no,
standing
the character models, right? They looked awful, but the real turd in the ointment is the horses. Oh my god, the horses were awful.
The thing is, right, all the characters were like really rigid and stuff, and then you get these random moments where it was like rotoscoped, and it just looked completely out of place.
The animation not that great. The backgrounds, though, I will stand by the fact that those backgrounds were fucking awesome. And then, like, effects that has, like, little sparks of fire or whatever.
Yeah.
At points, it looks fucking beautiful, but the majority of the time, it wasn't great.
I have to say, though, after, like, 4 episodes, I was just sort of like, yeah, this is how it looks.
You're used to it, don't you? That's the thing.
Yeah.
There were the odd moments where I was like, ugh, but...
Sometimes... I think it was the motion in it where I was just like, oh, stop moving.
It's when people are moving.
For me, it was facial expressions that killed it. Because, like, there is no in-between motion in facial expressions. It's like they've basically got an Nendoroid and they're swapping its face for different things.
Stop motion.
It's literally like, him blinking is literally like a 2-frame cycle of open eyes, close eyes, and it's like, ugh. It's Jangosaurus Rex.
It makes me sad that it clearly didn't have much of a budget because it was just this massive promotional thing for the drama. Like,
well, they had to freaking drop all their freaking yen on Mamo.
Yeah, that's probably where all the fucking budget went, was they're like, oh, who's going to bring in viewers? A really popular voice actor.
I reckon Mamo doesn't charge that much just because he fucking loves it.
I think he's like, you know how you and Nobunaga in that show with the robot? Do you want to be in Nobunaga with this show with time travel? And he's like, alright.
I just want to point out that my favourite English ever from Mamoru Miyano is from Star Driver. It's a peach. It's a peach. I don't know. I still feel like the more I watch this, because we've seen it 3 times now. Because I watched it once when it was airing.
Once for your glimpse video, I assume?
No, I watched the first 3 episodes for my glimpse video. So I've seen the first 3 episodes like 5 times.
Crikey, mate.
So I watched it once when it was airing. I actually watched it twice while it was airing, actually, because I watched it on my own and I watched some of it with you.
Yeah, you probably watched it like 1.5 times or something.
Yeah, I probably watched it 1.5 times during that season. Then I watched it again for this. and bits and pieces of it for my glimpse video. So I really like this show, and I feel like the more I watch it, the more I'm like, I guess the animation's not that bad. Even though it's pretty fucking terrible. Yeah. I just wish that it had more of a budget behind it. I just wish that it looked better, because then more people would be like, oh, this Nobunaga show, it looks like it's legitimately good. Like
there were going to be so many people who would watch the first episode and just go, no, I can't deal with how this looks. Like, watch the first minute or something and be like, yeah, I can't, just nope. And just
that's really shame.
I genuinely thought
entire show.
I thought that's how you were going to react, because you are the biggest biggest hater of CGI animation.
Well, to be fair, for me,
when it looks
CG at its worst for me is when it's integrated badly into regular animation, where it's just like, here is a CGI thing that sticks out like a sore ass.
Shout outs to Golden Time and the dancers.
Yeah, because things like that you can't get used to, because you have the other animation, like the traditional animation that you are used to in that show, and you just can't get used to the CGI blobble that's just kind of also there. Whereas when it's over the entire length of the show, like stuff like this, stuff like Knights of Sidonia, you get used to it. Like, after a few episodes, and it stops bothering you. But then there are, like, with this show specifically, there are little bits and pieces here and there where it just kind of went, ooh, and I was like, okay, I just got reminded why it looks poo.
Yeah, I genuinely thought you'd, like, finish the first episode, and you'd carry on watching the show because that's what you do, but you'd be like,
nah, man.
It's not very good.
I was like, finished the first episode, and I was like, I want to go have a pint with Saburo, real bad.
Saburo is like 400 years ago. You can't do that, I'm afraid.
Well, I'll meet him in Egypt.
So what did you think about the animation, Megurun?
Yeah, I thought it looked bad. Like, say, I liked the backgrounds and stuff, everything, but like the actual characters and the horses actually looked alright. But then, the character models and those horses, not great.
And it's safe to say, though, it did look considerably better than the dancing in Love Live.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, CG dancing and idol anime is like the bane of my existence.
Oh god, when they did it in Utopia, I cried inside.
The worst thing about how they do it I've heard in season 2 of Love Live it's not as bad, but the worst thing about how they do it in season 1 of Love Live is it cuts between normal and CG like a fucking...
totally. There's this one shot.
Bad.
There's this one shot in one of the dances. Like, I'm sorry, I'm talking about Love Live.
It's fine. That's what you're gonna do.
We'd already resigned ourselves to it.
But like, there's this one shot that has Umi and two of the other characters, I forget. Those two are in CG, and then Umi is in like normal animation, and this is all in like the same shot. So she looks like she's like trapped in some other dimension or something. It's so weird. Yeah, the transitions between CG and proper animation was so bad. It made it way worse than what it actually was.
Yeah.
I think my least favourite example of CG in this show was in the first episode, where there's like a cat that goes by, and it just looks proper janky. Like,
oh man, but did you notice? Like, there was a cat in almost every episode.
Yeah.
Was there?
Like, there was, like, I think in episode 4 there wasn't one, but there was a cat in every other episode.
There's just, because it's either Maeda is dicking around with the cat, or Kicho is playing with a cat. There's just a cat there. Yeah, it's all sorts of stuff. They're just cats.
Fucking wolf cats, mate.
Cats, mate.
They had to do with the fact that cats were so freely roaming in Japan to keep the rats away.
Then why didn't they keep Hideyoshi away?
When Oichi sent the beans to Saburo, he should have just been like, "We'll just get some cats in."
And they all like cling to him, like, it's him.
He's the bag rat.
What I wanted though was like the people who went to go and kill Nobunaga then should have just been like, "Damn it, I know how they escaped. Oichi spilled the beans."
No. That's how Saburo should have worked it out.
Yeah, she's spilling the beans.
This is Oichi spilling the beans. What could she be spilling the beans about? Betrayal.
Yep.
I bet she fucking regrets that when Nobunaga kills her son and mounts his head on a spike. So.
Yep.
So.
That's his nephew, that.
I know! I can't imagine doing something like that to my nephew. I love my nephew.
Well, you're not Nobunaga.
Oh, that's true, and I also don't live 400 years ago when things were different. Like, Yaoi was totally okay.
Yaoi was respected.
Yeah, man.
See,
maybe that's why it's so big.
We should, like, stick to that.
I mean, it's a respected art form. Gosh.
God.
I forgot what he said it was called now.
What?
What I said.
The ancient Yaoi, what it was called.
Mori Ranmaru.
Because I need to tell that to Sarah, so she can.
Nanshoku.
Nanshoku. I need to tell it to Sarah, so every time someone calls her for Joshi, which she's happy to be called, she can just say that.
Yep. Nanshoku. Nanshoku. Nanshoku.
Porn.
Porn, but for people 400 years ago. Right.
Old porn.
So, the soundtrack of this thing, I know one song, and it's always got that do 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 do. I feel like every song has that in it.
Yeah. That's like the here's our little freaky animation thing on the screen sound effect.
Oh man, it's opening animation, I guess. Looked awesome, where it had the like swirl in the sky and
and I liked what they did with like placeholder names and text on the screen and stuff like that.
Yeah.
With it's like from a graphic design perspective, it does look really nice. And
I liked how
the
in the opening, not the opening, the ending, when you had it started off by saying Saburo and Nobunaga, and then when you got to the halfway point, it became Nobunaga and Mitsuhide.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. And then any shots where you saw Saburo and Nobunaga, Nobunaga was named Mitsuhide, like he had the bag on his head.
Yeah. And like with the true ending at the end where they actually change it up again and show...
When they show everyone!
Yeah.
Everyone in like pairs.
Cool.
It was great.
I liked the soundtrack from what I remember of it.
I really like the sound design. Like, there's this one bit in particular that I remember when it's when like Saburo is feeling really burnt out, and Nobunaga essentially goes, "Why don't you fuck off for a bit? I'll take over just for tonight. You go and have a walk, clear your head." And there's this bit where Kicho like sees him and immediately knows that something's wrong, and she like shuffles towards him.
Yeah.
And it's just the sound of the fabric like on her clothes moving around as she shuffles. Like, that's perfect.
Speaking of that scene, actually, that was really good.
That was probably an important scene to talk about.
Really
when he basically apologizes, basically
because
sorry,
like
so shit.
From her perspective, it's just like he's acting funny, he's ill.
Yeah.
But this is like the first time he's spoken to his wife in 30 years.
I like the fact that she was like immediately like, "Oh, there's something different about you. Like, you're not feeling very well." And he's like, "Oh, this is one of my good days, actually."
I like how everyone notices as well. Even like the Yakuza guys, like, "What's wrong with you?"
Well, to be honest, the Yakuza guy's not doing that because Saburo's not being all like, "Way,
yeah, nice your tattoo, bruv.
That's a baseball.
Oh,
that's a young."
That's a baseball player.
Can we talk about the best part of the show, though, which was the
other
ending?
elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Making loneliness.
Kill my weepiness. Weakiness.
We're gonna do lots of spinning around. We're in the city, we're in the temple, we're in the field.
That is exactly how it goes.
Pretty much. I like the bit where it shows Nobunaga, like the original Nobunaga, and it spins him around, and then he's like doing a pose, and it spins him around again, and he's clutching his chest, and I was like, is he just really dizzy?
I don't feel well. I like how that changes after he comes back into the show as well. Like the ending changes from having just Nobunaga in it to having Mitsuhide there as well, which is quite neat.
Yeah.
And the song's awesome. I love the song.
Yeah, that song was really damn good.
Yeah.
And the singer's really cute.
Yeah, he's got fluffy hair.
And
his brother's in one OK Rock.
I'm trying to decide whether it beats the merman in the bath ending.
Oh yeah.
I think it's on par.
Oh, you mean the opening for that?
Opening, that's what I meant. Yeah.
That was fucking weird. I always think
So
that was the most out of place opening ever.
That show's great.
The show was pretty great. I want them to make little bath toys of the mermaid.
Oh, that'd be so great.
I'd have a bath every day. I'd be like, yes, I just wanna play with my mermaid toy.
I would do that.
Never mind. What is left to talk about with this show? Is there anything that anyone wants to bring up?
It was good. I liked it. Bye.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I think we're good.
we should. I think we're good. We probably should wrap this up because we've been clutching at straws for a while now.
I think it's like we've gone for an hour and 40.
I was
on a 10-episode show.
It's because I'm hosting and I've been like, I don't remember how to do this because I haven't done this in 3
Just do what I
months.
do when I host. Host it for about 10 minutes and then let Alan take over.
Right, I don't have Wikipedia open this time. I don't know.
I'm fucking prepared. I am the most prepared person here because I have a Wikipedia page. So suck it.
You're MC.
So we'll move.
I have a Wikipedia page open that says that Ebby sucks.
Ooh.
I'm on Wikipedia though, so suck it.
I'm famous.
Let's
Really
move on
made
to final thoughts then, starting with Alan as always.
Oh yeah, it's me. That's an Alan.
Oh, that's an ending.
That's an ending. Yeah, as I said at the start, this thing really did surprise me. I mean, the biggest sells and the biggest things that appeal to me in this show are sort of the smaller things. Its tone, its charm, Saburo as a character, its general character interactions and things like that, and its political focus was definitely a huge strong point for it, even though a lot of it was lost on me because the blanks weren't filled in. The biggest sort of shortcomings of the series are obviously how it looked and how it tried to cram in like sort of so much in a short space of time and then had to abruptly end without any sign of a conclusion that will obviously never happen, never be animated, pretty much guaranteed at this point it's not going to. It's definitely an incomplete story. It's a story that had sort of bumps along the road, but I find myself just very sort of fond of it and just very happy that it exists, and that though there are many things about it that I'm not really that keen on, I sort of look back on it and definitely think this is just something I think most people should watch, because at 10 episodes, yes it was rushed, yes it didn't cover everything, but it's bloody 10 episodes, that's a sitting, that's like an afternoon. And for the amount that it crammed into those 10 episodes, because it was never boring, like that's something I can definitely say about the show. It didn't drop at any point, it just rushed through a bit too much. And I think what I'll end up giving it is it's just about scrapes a 7. It just about scrapes a 7. I think it's got enough problems, enough things wrong with it. Well, enough things I don't like about it, more like. Enough things that sort of... Because, I mean, I didn't get any sort of big emotional response from like, sad bits that you guys seem to. I think the bit that hit me the hardest was when...
the fact none of the girls were glasses.
Well, yeah, obviously, because apparently someone forgot to invent glasses back then. But it was when what's his dad disappeared.
Can you imagine if Saburo found a pair of readers in his bag? It's like, here you are, Kicho, wear these.
Oh my god, she'd be like a moe sandwich. Yeah, scrapes that 7 just about. I think for a story that's like so incomplete and has literally no ending and will not have an ending, I think that's for me the best it can achieve, especially with how it looked and how discombobulated it was at points, and obviously how some of it was lost on me for not having a full knowledge of the history of Nippon.
Well, now you know a little bit more about Japanese history, such as everybody committed seppuku.
Everyone killed themselves.
and yaoi was socially acceptable.
Yeah, apparently.
The Tomei Road existed in wherever they were.
I like to think that they had like shops that were selling like wall scrolls, like ancient wall scrolls of like Nobunaga
versions.
That guy who's at MCM all the time.
Yeah.
What was it? What was it? What was the literature called again?
Nanshoku.
Nanshoku!
Get your Nanshoku! Get your Nanshoku paddles!
I would buy a Nanshoku paddle.
Oh, he should sell them, like... And
no one would buy them because no one would get it.
Like, do you want a Yaoi
Except
paddle? Do you want a Nanshoku paddle?
Somebody who's watched this live stream would be like, yeah, I'll buy a Nanshoku paddle.
Let's do it at the next OKKO meetup.
I can just imagine.
Everybody gets a Nanshoku paddle.
Oh, we should make one, and we should sign it, auction it off. But can you imagine just like yaoi in sort of like traditional Japanese art style, like hokusai yaoi.
As Ocelot lovingly puts it, everyone committed Sudoku.
Yeah, they did.
I'll do my final thoughts real quick because I've already talked enough today. I think this is probably one of the episodes where I've spoken the most because I've had so much to say.
You're a champion player.
But I really, really like this show. I feel like going back now after seeing the drama, there are a lot of gaps that I wish they had filled. I totally understand why they didn't do it. But I feel like I appreciate it a lot more in a way because of the drama, but in other ways a lot less because they missed out on some really important stuff, such as the Nobuyuki stuff, the stuff with Nagamasa, just lots and lots of different things. And I'm gonna go watch the J-drama again at some point because I've seen the anime so many fucking times, I might as well see the drama as many fucking times as well. So. Basically, go make people watch this show because it's good. You know it. And I would give it an 8.
Hiyo.
That's great.
It's great, mate. Great 8,
mate.
8. Cam.
Hello.
Go on with your final thoughts and give me a number.
Special Cam rating.
Can you imagine if he was just like 10? Suck it.
10 out of 10. No. Oh God. What do I say? I suppose. I mean, obviously, I share a lot of the same sentiments, and I think the big fall down for this show for me, like I mentioned earlier, which is from moment one, the show just has this set, like not just Saburo, the show as a whole has this kind of aura of, I can only really describe it as charisma. It's just this really charismatic show. Everyone is quirky, everyone's funny in their own like ways. And obviously Saburo is at the center of all that and his interactions with people. And that was fantastic. And that was what kept me enjoying it all the way through. It's what made the funny bits really funny. It's what made the sad bits really fucking sad. Because there's just this, I have this connection straight away. Because all the characters are so immediately likable. The setting, story, so immediately likable. But then it just kind of, as soon as all the really serious stuff starts to happen and everything starts to go wrong, all of that just vanishes. And that made me really sad. And I don't know, I just felt like in those last few episodes, like most people, apart from the bit when Young turned up, and then when I kind of looked up and went, oh, there was actually a bloke there that this could fit in with. I just didn't feel as connected anymore. There were a couple of good bits, but like I say, the charm just seemed to have evaporated as this kind of dark, as the darkness closed in. So, I mean, for that reason, I can't rate it as highly as I'd want to, just because it didn't do it for me at the end. The way it was presented was janky at best. Like, it had, like I mentioned, it had certain moments that looked absolutely fucking beautiful, but they were few and far between. But it held my attention, and for those 10 episodes, I really, really enjoyed it. Did it in 1 and a bit sittings, and other than what I've already said, I don't have any complaints. Obviously, Mamo was fucking amazing.
Yeah, he was.
So, yeah, no, but I would recommend, like you said, Ebby, like you said, Alan, I would recommend to anyone to watch it, because it's one of those shows that is definitely, at the very least, worth watching once, because it is a good experience.
Or 5 times.
Or 5 times.
With Jesus.
I just, again, the last few episodes ruined it for me a little bit. The fact that it's not going to continue, like Alan said, is a real letdown. And yeah, I guess that's it. I just feel a bit let down. But it still gets a strong 7 from me because of how much I loved kind of the first 2/3 of it. Like, I haven't had emotional responses from a show like this ever. Really, well, ever's a strong word, but in a very long time. This show made, well, like I said at the start, this show made me cry, which hasn't happened since Grave of the fucking Fireflies.
Oh shit!
Which made me eject silent man tears, like rolled onto the side of the pillow and just silently cried for half an hour.
Grave of the Fireflies just made me angry.
And it was just So yeah, strong 7. Really, really like it. Everyone should watch it, but lots of problems. Megurun.
Go.
Everyone's already said anything.
Hey, start Dash.
Well, yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was something interesting and obviously something different because I'd never watched a show like this before. Obviously, it had a lot of problems. Like, you know, I'm going to address that. The animation wasn't great, and obviously I didn't know a lot about, like, all the history behind it, so I was a bit like, what? But
Mamo in it.
yeah, but it had Mamo in it, and as well as that, the guy who voices Nobunaga, who's Yuki Kaji, is my second favorite voice actor. So it's like my 2 favorites.
So it's like Megurun Husbando Concerto.
Yeah, exactly. And that's pretty awesome. I appreciate that. So that's awesome, and I liked that a lot. And
11 out of 10.
no, yeah,
like, no, 2.
It had no idea. 0 out of 10. No. But no, I did like it. Like I say, I wasn't like thinking like, oh my god, 10 out of 10, this is amazing.
This
but
has changed my life in unidentifiable ways.
No, it's not like that. It's not like Love Life. That did change my life. But yeah, I did enjoy it for what it was and what it was going for. And as for rating, I'd probably say a 7 as well. Like, I'd say like a lower end of a 7, maybe. I'm not sure. I'm bad at ratings.
So there's a 7. It's that bit of the 7.
Yeah.
It's a low 7.
It's a low 7. That's a pretty good 7, actually.
It's the shame it's backwards for me.
Well, I can't break my arm.
It's alright, on the stream it'll be the right way around.
Yeah.
So all
good.
Yeah.
11.
So
Or
Swan. Oh, that crane that was in the one episode where Kicho was like, "What's that?" I was like, "That is a handsome bird right there."
So that gives us 29 out of 40. I finally watched a show and said that we should watch a show that Cam fucking likes.
It's about bloody time, really, isn't it?
So I have one more question before we wrap up.
Oh.
Are you gonna watch the drama? Are you interested in watching the drama?
Yeah. I'm definitely interested in it, yeah.
Maybe. I haven't watched a drama since I watched Remote, which was...
But what if we did OKKO drama?
I've never watched a drama, so...
I was say that I watched Remote when...
You watched Densha.
Have you seen Densha?
No. Literally, the last J-drama that I watched was Remote in like 2005.
You haven't seen fucking Densha?
Oh.
What
How
are you doing talking to us?
Wait, how have you not seen Densha when you knew me and met me around the time when I was really, really fucking into Densha and was like, everybody watch it?
The furthest we got into that was you being like, I really like Densha, and then that was it.
Well,
yeah, I don't know why. Dramas just aren't my thing.
You haven't seen Densha yet?
I watched... Well, the closest thing to a J-drama that I've watched recently is Kamen Rider. So...
Right, that's not really.
Hey man, it's dramatic.
What about you, Alan? I know you've already seen bits and pieces of it, but...
Yeah, I definitely do want to watch it. I think I was honestly planning on watching it. at some point in the past, but I got put off by the fact that I watched episode 3 already or something. Like, I think you were at mine. And
Yeah, I was
were
definitely
watching it when it
watching.
was airing, and I think I've only seen episode 3, and I was like, I want to wait until I forget episode 3 to actually start from the beginning again.
Even I don't remember what happened in episode 3.
It's the episode where Ding Dong commits seppuku.
Ding dong.
Which one?
Sam.
Ding Dong.
The one where like he commits seppuku and like it's the
Oh.
first time Saburo sees that, and he's like, "What
Yeah.
the fuck was that?"
Yeah. Yeah, that's Nobuyuki.
Yeah,
That was freaky, right?
yeah, man.
It was fucking freaky. Anyway, thank you for answering my question. Go watch it, because it's really fucking good, and they need to finish the movie that they've already planned and release it on Crunchyroll. So, shall we finish up?
Yeah.
I'm saying,
Okay.
Megu, give us a plug.
Oh god, I wasn't prepared for this.
Oh, I know. If you were prepared, right, you could have just literally held up like the back end of your phone charger. You're like, give us a plug, and you just want to go, hey!
This one!
And
Hey,
I
Alan,
would've been like, you've
hey
like,
Alan,
yeah?
give us a plug.
It's over there.
You suck, because you're not
Wait,
prepared.
wait, there are plugs. Wait, hold on. There's
If
one
I
down here.
unplug
I'll try and
that,
get
like,
it
the
with my
stream's
foot
gonna
so that I
die.
went down.
It's a computer.
Wait, wait.
There's
Oh, it's
Oh no! Wait, I have a plug. Let's try again.
Hey,
Actually,
Megu.
Ollie said that he watched Nobunaga Concerto. I watched that as well. So
Oh.
around the same time that I watched Remote.
Hey, Megu, give us a plug.
Hey!
Hey!
You should all watch my stuff because I don't have many subscribers. I don't know. I post
There's
things
that bit.
occasionally.
There was a stream where the sentence "subscribe to me, plebs" was used, and you gained about 20 subscribers in 5
I
minutes.
gained more. I gained like 60. I'm not even joking. Most of my
amazing.
subscriber base is from that stream.
Man.
I like how
Yeah.
you in the chat, just like, mention Life is Strange, do it, Megu.
Megu is still a baby on YouTube.
She's still a baby in real life. She's our
Oh, yeah,
youngest
that's
guest.
She's my
So-
immortal.
You should subscribe to her preemptively
Yeah.
because there's going to be some cool stuff on the way.
She's
I
OKKO
know.
Anime Club's adopted
Hey.
daughter.
Link in the description.
Yes, and if you want to like go through meme hell, you can follow me on Twitter too.
Yeah, I had to unfollow Megu because my feed was like 50% my other people and 50% Love Live. And I was
Calm
like,
down on the Love
I
Live now, it's just-
ain't having that shit.
It's
And Ask
It's
FM.
not
Don't
as
forget Ask
bad.
FM.
Oh yeah, and you were
it's
you were
not
like a
as bad,
freaking.
I swear.
It's not.
I tried to stop a bit because I was like, you know what? Some people might actually find this annoying.
You were like the demon lord of
You know what
Ask
the
FM
best part
heaven.
is, Alan? Did anyone ever tell you that after you unfollowed
Oh my
Megan
god,
on Twitter,
don't.
there was a big backlash where loads of people were like, "Why did Alan unfollow you? What's going on?" And there was like more
What?
Ask FM things being like, "What's going on?
Oh my
What's
god.
going on?" Yeah, people weird.
I
that
unfollowed,
was
like freaking.
weird.
I unfollowed Ken because he was live tweeting Monogatari, and I was like, "Fuck off, Ken! I don't want spoilers." I
Oh,
love
We're
Ken.
clearly doing a club on that, so
Yeah.
right. Sub to
we
Megu,
should have
follow
everybody
Megu on
Slack club side
Twitter.
of things.
Yes, go do
and
it.
we will-
If you don't do it, I'll know.
Because you would be like, and look, you don't even have an excuse. It's right the fuck there.
Yeah,
It
man.
says on
Yeah.
the screen.
I'm a regular on these streams. I know who everyone is.
Literally, and she can just like, what's your Twitter? And you'll be like, it's Megurun.
Hey, if you figure out who UCD
It
is,
works
let
so
me
well.
know.
I don't think UCD has Twitter. I honestly think UCD is an ethereal being.
I
that
don't know.
exists in our
I
chat.
think
it's-
UCD has a Twitter, but it's someone else. It's a different name. I think
I think
I've
it's
on
just-
to you.
I think
Oh, everyone's being like, oh, sub to Megu.
sub to
Thank you, chat.
Megu.
Thank you, chat. I love you.
Can we talk about what we're doing next time?
Yes, sorry. I was gonna be like, right, end the stream now, please.
Yeah, because
So
I
next
just
time-
well, first I just want to say that OKKO Anime Club right now is dead. But next time,
It is kill.
carry on. I set you up. Go. You go.
Oh.
Alan.
It will be reborn.
Oh!
Pew pew
Yeah,
pew
man.
pew pew.
So before people get, because I already had to have a short conversation with Selena about this. Before people be like, "What, Reborn? That's like 800 million episodes." We're just doing the first season of Katakyo Hitman Reborn, which is the first 33 episodes. If you watch it on the crunchers, it's all neatly split up for you into seasons. So watch the first season. It's really, I can't wait because it's really, really good. I love Reborn. And I think you will too. Because even though it's like a shonen show, it's not the same.
I watched the first episode yesterday and it was good.
It's good.
He got down to his underpants.
I've already watched the first episode in like actual anime club. Like,
yeah, because I put it on an actual anime club.
6 years ago or something.
You thought it was alright, didn't you? Yeah.
I remember thinking it was alright. I don't remember anything about it now.
It's kind of, it's like your atypical shonen action show, but a bit different. It's
with
a bit
more
like
tiny baby hitman.
Yeah, tiny baby hitman.
Tiny chameleon.
Shoots a kid in the head. He dies. He comes back to life. All his clothes explode off, and then he starts screaming, "Reborn!"
And he's got fire on his head.
Yeah, man. It's really good. I love it so much.
I just want to point out we've been streaming for 2 hours about a 10-episode show.
This is what we do. This is what we do now.
We have streamed for more than half the length of the show.
Yeah,
guys.
Kinross, I already know that you're not going to like it because you don't like anything.
Hey, you like this?
Oh, it's true.
No, he didn't. That's a lie.
He liked JoJo's.
So, he liked JoJo. You're funny.
Anyway. So come join us next time. We don't have a guest next time, so it's just us three, which is the first time that's happened in forever.
The guest is going to be me on a loop, getting hype again. Yeah. It's going to be me on like a time lapse. So I'll be like, oh!
So that's it for this episode. I need to go use the bathroom, so wrap it up, please.
Oh, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for joining us, Megu. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Awesome.
Bye bye.
I'll do it again anytime. Bye.
Energy chargey.